everybody, Season 2 of Basement Chat, our inaugural 2017 get-to. Sorry we're a little bit late, but I'd like to apologize to absolutely nobody. Blame the man to my right, put on company suspension by the company's CEO, my goddaughter, Addison Esposito. Get over it.
And there is no overruling Miss Addison. Welcome back, everybody. It's great to be here in the basement for our opening of Season 2. Rip, it's been a while, but feels pretty damn good to be back.
Not too shabby, Skip.
Not at all. So what we're going to do today, for those of you watching the Basement Chat, since we haven't been doing the chat for a few weeks, it's going to be impossible to scroll through every single one of the events that we've run on the USSSA New Jersey circuit. But what we are going to do, Rip, is we're going to freestyle right through each class and talk about who's doing good and who's making noise and all that jazz.
True, but we are going to point out that Mother Nature is leading the point series.
Mother Nature's been having a damn good season, Rip. It's been painful to have to cancel a few of these tournaments. I mean, I think we have turned away over 120 entries this year in 2017. So,
Oofa.
Yeah, exactly. Now, starting at the top with the men's major, the AA and the A's, we don't have a New Jersey team playing this year, with, above all, not fielding a team. However, we do have several players that are New Jerseyites that are competing at that level, Rip.
Very true, very true. We'll start with the top of the heap at the major program. Mr. Cookies and Rings, the grenade tosser himself, social media icon, Justin Mucciarelli, pitcher for Newbury D. Marini.
Everybody's homeboy.
One of the best in the land. There's no doubt about that, Jim.
That's right. And this year's playing for Newbury, the team that's based out of the West Coast. Rip, they've had several top 5 finishes, including a second place at one of the duels. Yeah, listen, they're an exceptional team. I think once they find their niche on the stadium fields, that they're going to give everybody everything they can handle, because Mooch is very good at pitching on the big fields. Unfortunately for him, though, in the smaller fields, he took an absolute laser off the glove hand, which had prompted him to go ahead and bat lefty down in Texas. But it wasn't all for naught. He did finish pretty well hitting, though, even though he had a bat from the opposite side of the plate. Maybe something he looks to mix into the full-time repertoire. Yeah, maybe he should be hitting lefty more often. Who knows, Rip? I don't know. You know, but it's been.
But if he keeps getting guys to foul balls off their faces, it won't matter what he does at the dish.
That's right. He's got one job up there. So Mooch playing for Newbury this year. We also have representing New Jersey playing for Precision, Mr. Jaybird and Mr. Devin Riley.
Correct. Jay Honowski's the batting fourth for Precision and playing right field, having off to a very good start for himself. Devin is, as we all know, as I like to call him, Mr. Automatic Pinch Hit Homer, coming back for a little bit of a back issue. I'm sure he'll see a lot more time moving forward. The Precision team, I always like the Precision team because it's just kind of a team now that knows the pattern of the season, has it down pat, kind of goes through how the season goes, and as it goes on further, they get better and better and better, like they did last year, walked away with the AA world title.
That's right. Excellent showing last year by Precision. And of
coached by the absolutely very great coach in Todd Hankey.
That's right. Now, we also have Mr. Willie Allen representing us at that level. Willie is playing B this year with Smash It and Rack, I believe. Yeah, they're playing B out of New York this year. They'll really be all over the place. I know Willie. Listen, no matter what level he's at, he's a gamer. That's right. Now, that's not the same as the Smash It Thunder team, correct, Rip? That's
no. That's a completely different team, which my boy Matty Major pitches on.
That's right.
They just had the merger with a bunch of guys who came over from the disbanded Backman team. But that is a completely different team than the one our beloved glove man, Willie Allen, plays for.
Correct. And Matty Z's team, if I'm not mistaken, had a big victory out at the Windy City Major.
Yes, absolutely. They seem to be gelling rather quickly and very well.
Glad to be a team to watch. Rip, besides the New Jersey folks and then the New York, is there any other teams or anything you're looking at that major level, or teams you think can surprise this year?
I mean, listen, I think that the major is, wherever Andy Purcell is, that seems to be the team to beat. I mean, the guy's just a proven winner. That Smash It Albuquerque team, or whatever team name they're going by, with the rumors of Albuquerque leaving the sponsorship there, that's just a team that's, they get it. And they're loaded. All the major teams are loaded, full of great talent. But those guys have been there, done that, guys. And they have one of the best leadoff hitters around, in Jason Branch, who's an absolute ridiculous hitter, line to line, or when he gets his opportunity, you'll hear him boo-whoop 6 miles out of the stadium. That's for sure.
That's correct. And with the defense that they have, I mean, that's a team that can walk into any tournament anywhere in the world and be a factor in Sloping softball.
Ain't no doubt about that. But I wouldn't sleep on a Rismondo either, right? Built for the stadium, and that's where actually the Major World Series is won.
Can't wait to see it this year. So, moving down to the Men's B program, Rip. The cupboard is bare here in New Jersey. We do not have anybody playing Men's B at the moment.
Yeah, well, with the folding of TNT and now Deluxe Bakery pushing the chips in and getting ran out on the river, I guess you'd say, right?
Well, Deluxe started off strong. They had a victory here in New Jersey. They played well down in Ocean City, Maryland, and then just decided it was time to hang it up for the year. So
yeah, I mean, listen, I heard some rumblings and grumblings. Obviously, you know some guys are playing the team, and you know some guys just general know other guys in the team. You hear some things around. Listen, it's unfortunate for a sponsor who's put his basically, I would say, his life into New Jersey softball and Sammy Roccaballo.
Hall of Famer.
And it's unfortunate that it happens to a guy like that. It's unfortunate it happens to any sponsor who takes the time to take their own personal money and invest it into gentlemen. I think, I like to extend my heartfelt apology to Sammy, even though I have no bearing in the situation.
Exactly.
But I feel for a guy like that who's just been a stalwart in the community.
Well, we hope to see Sammy this year. I know there's plans of them doing a few non-roster tournaments, so all best wishes to Sammy and the Deluxe Bakery family. What is good, Rip, is it looks like most of the Deluxe folks have found teams.
Yes.
A few guys have gone over to TZ. A few guys have split up on some of the New Jersey teams. So looks like most of those men will be playing softball the rest of the year.
Listen, they're a bunch of talented guys. There's no reason why they shouldn't find a home somewhere, right?
Gotcha. Now, speaking of that TZ Distributors team, that team will be up here for the Smash It Sports NIT on July 8th. Rip, that tournament looks like it will be loaded again as it was last year.
Listen, that's one of the best tournaments in New Jersey every year since we started doing it. I say it all the time, teams should definitely circle it on their calendar. That's going to be a test for TZ. I know they just played in the Maryland Major and did fairly well against Smash It, Thunder Nation, and then they played and lost a tough game in the South Shore, but it's not going to dismiss the fact that come that weekend over here in Brick, New Jersey, they're going to get tested.
That is a tournament that we are going to have some very good teams in town for. Domino's coming down from Rochester. Czech King is
they're bringing a Cinnabon? Just asking for a friend.
I'll see what I can do for you, Rip. I'll write that down, make a note. Max is on Maine and Chosen, who always come to New Jersey and play well. So we're going to have a lot of those teams. So we will see some of the upper level teams in New Jersey July 8th for the Smash It. Now looking at the men's C, Rip, #1 ranked team in New Jersey right now. I don't think anybody could dispute that. Bill's Old Tavern Gabby's, led by Frank Stout.
And Mr. Anthony Pep Sorrentino.
That's correct. #1 ranked team in the state, Gabby's. They're the only team playing C or higher at the moment, but they've earned it on the field, okay? This is a team that has aspirations both at the C Worlds and the B Worlds, like you guys did last year, Rip. This is a team that won a very, very strong Evo 9X high NIT a few weeks ago. And Rip, I got to tell you, the Final Four, a lot of those teams are very good. Chosen, Bills, Max Maine, and your favorite team, the Broad Street Bullies.
My man.
Sneaking in somehow to the Final Four.
Baby glove!
That's right. Very nice job out of East Irish Pub. I got to tell you, Rip, that team played their hearts out that day. I was very, very proud of them.
Can't fool around with the Broad Street Bullies, bro. I told you that.
That's right.
I told you last year.
That's correct.
The more they play, the better they're going to get.
They did not disappoint at the high-low. That's a tournament, Rip, where every year somebody, a few years ago, was Ewing Dirt. Somebody kind of sneaks into that Final Four, and this year it was East Irish.
Yeah, listen, there's no doubt about it. But like to touch back on the Bill's Old Tavern Gabby thing, they do have a ton of talent. They're really starting. It seems like the beginning of the year they struggled a little bit. They're starting to find their groove a little bit and starting to gel. Picking up Tyler Pecunis from a defunct Deluxe Bakery team definitely helps them as far as having a guy in the lineup who can spray the ball around and lead off. Picking up Bob McMahon has helped them. And obviously their early season additions in the beginning of the year was Woody Darling. Starting to come together. Frank Stout's starting to find a groove. And they are led, in my opinion, offensively by an underrated guy who a lot of guys don't know about, Matt Hill, who absolutely murders the ball.
I believe that's the first baseman, correct? Rick?
Yeah.
Mr. Matt Hill.
Murders it.
If I'm not mistaken, he was the tournament MVP at the high-low.
Probably well-deserved because he was hitting some rockets all over the place.
I would not want to be getting in front of some of those balls the way you're describing it. So, Frank Stout leading that team, a very, very nice start to the year for Gabby's. They will have some competition at the Smash It. So,
sooner or later.
Now, moving down to Men's D, which has probably been our strongest program line to line this year. The D states are coming up in a few weeks, and Rip, that Evo 9X D Conference Final should be another strong tournament this year. Let's take a look at some of the teams that should be participating there. So, Ellery's Young Guns, right now, our top-ranked D team. Okay, they've won the D Guillotine, the D Super Dual NIT. They've added a veteran pitcher in Rock Crawford, somebody you know very well.
True story.
Rip, tell me what you think of Ellery's Young Guns at this point.
I think even though they're playing well early in the season for the D level softball, I think that their offense suits the C level game better.
They do have a lot of power. I will say that.
That will become a problem because when you hit them out at the D level after 2,
inning ending.
Finito.
That's right. So that'll be the big test for Ellery's, whether they can adapt there.
And I personally I think about them, to be honest with you, Jim, when they play at a level where they can hit a couple more homers, they seem to play a little looser, a little more focused, and they're ready to go. And it's just something that...
Well, that's something that Billy Lester and Mike Prone and the coaching staff of Ellery's need to...
That's their job to figure out, right?
But, Ellery's right now, my top-ranked D team, okay?
I would agree.
Right behind them, Dream Warren Sports. They've been a factor in all of the tournaments they've played. They've been in the finals a few times, okay? Last year, Dream Warren kind of went on the map at the Sunfest, which is our next tournament. Can they go into the Sunfest and repeat this year to date?
Listen, anything's possible. They have veterans on the team. They have young kids on the team. Always a good mixture to have. The veterans are not going to let the young kids get lazy and complacent. They're going to make them play to a level they expect them to play at.
Correct.
They're going to teach them along the way. So anything's possible when you have those guys like a Nicky Martini in the background going, hey, no, it's got to be this way.
Yep.
Always helps and benefits, you know what I mean?
Well, Dream Warren, again, right now looks to be a factor at D States, D Conference. That's a team that may be a little more suited to D without too many big home run hitters.
Correct.
Guys that can keep it in. Our next team on the D rankings looks like Fraser Phoenix Tube, coached by the one and only Eric Smith. This team had a nice showing down in Ocean City, Maryland. They've been solid in their in-state.
Smitty sucks at crowd control, but go ahead.
I will not argue with you there. Your thoughts on Fraser Phoenix Tube?
Listen, they got a lot of, they have another team with a lot of talent. I don't know how many guys they're carrying. I seen them last week. I think they had like 75 guys or some shit like that. But they do have a lot of talent. Listen, they got Bud Hockaday, who, if he puts the ball in play and it's not caught, give him 2 bases out of the sheets.
Correct.
They have a Howie Deemer, who played for me last year, who is playing a little more local this year because of work obligations and whatnot. Excellent ball player. And they have a couple of other guys who get the job done that are good ball players. And Smitty's been around, a little long in the tooth experience-wise, should be able to coach these guys if he takes it with a little bit of a harder line and inserts himself in certain situations.
Correct.
A little more often.
Always not easy to coach the team that you're playing on, but he's got some guys that can really play ball. I got to tell you, Matt Greco's been hitting the ball very, very well for those guys. They have definitely a few guys that have the desire, that want to win. Frazier
starts after battle.
That's correct. Now, a team, Rip, that I think might even be ranked higher in a few weeks, Autologic.
They played very well at the high-low, too, as well. I was very surprised when I was watching them play. Very sound team, not a real loud team, just a team that goes out, boom, boom. Oh, what happened? Oh, you just lost. See you later. We're going to the next game.
Tim Westerside has done a very nice job with his team. They picked up a few guys from here, a few guys from there, guys that fit what he's looking to do, okay? I saw them play in Ocean City. Their defense was very good. They can hit the long ball, they can hit the short ball, and they've got Hafner on the mound. It's going to keep them in games.
Veteran pitchers always help, Jim, when you get to this, when you get down the world, and I've said it last year and I'll say it again this year, veteran pitchers always help. Veteran presence, kind of calm influence, and Haf is not a guy who's going to get rattled.
Correct. Now, Rip, as you know, I'm going by the U-Trip points here to do these rankings. So certainly not least on the list in D is a team that has had 2 wins in Reddington this year. RSB, Royal Sports Bar, led by Dan Nash, now joined by Tommy Majorana. Rip, this is a team in D that should take really a backseat to nobody, RSB. Your thoughts on the team?
In all honesty, RSB, when adding Johnny Engelman, Matty K, who I think is probably one of the best unknown players that anybody's going to see in the state of New Jersey. His swing is ridiculous. He's ridiculous defensively. Lights out, good ball player. Everybody knows who Johnny Engelman is. He's been around for a while and what he brings to the table. This team, position for position around the diamond, is loaded with talent. And there's guys in the team that no one's even heard of that I'm telling you are top-notch ball players. If they come to the ballpark focused, in the task at hand, control some of the antics they go through, they are going to be a pain for anybody to play.
That's
I'm
correct.
not kidding you. And they have the possibility of just walking into a tournament, running the table, leaving with a win. And I mean that even in Worlds, they have that kind of talent on that team.
I completely agree. So RSB this year playing a little bit more USSSA. Really looking forward to seeing what this team can do against some of those Dreamhorns and Elleries, and maybe even against.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to smack some teams in the mouth. That I'm going to tell you.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. So a few other teams in D. PSB, always tough. One of the South Jersey teams. Family First Funding. We have Diamond Nation, Speedy Pete's, South Jersey Extreme. Rip, there is a lot of talent in D this year. East Irish Pub from Pennsylvania.
Listen, there is a lot of talent in D. You have Styx's program, PSB. Again, a bunch of guys that are playing together, seem to really get along really well with each other. And kind of, with Styx's program is the same thing, right? Building momentum for the Worlds. Building momentum for the Worlds. Sort of like Mr. Fours and the South Jersey Extreme.
Hot at the right time.
Not worried about May, June, July. I'm worried about September. How can we get better every time out till we get to Worlds and peak at the right time?
And the other team that we cannot throw out that may actually qualify for our D Conference final this year if they play enough tournaments is AUIT from Long Island. A very solid D team.
I watched them play against the Chosen the Scene down at the High-Low NNT. Was by far the game of the tournament.
Yes.
Wasn't even close.
So for the conference finals, the teams need to play 4 U-Trip tournaments, 3 of our scheduled qualifiers.
Right.
AUIT actually is qualified, so you might see them take the ride out and play the conference
Teams
finals.
better hope they have something else going on.
Yeah, that's a team that could come down and win it. So
very, very true.
Men's D, we're really looking forward to some of that championship program now in the men's E-RIP. We don't have as many teams, but there are definitely some quality teams here. Let me take a look here with you at the rankings. Currently number 1 in points in New Jersey, Showtime. They have a win in Linden. That's a team with some experience. Your thoughts on Showtime and Monty Harris?
Listen, it's Dog's program, right? It's been his program for a long time. And Dog's is a guy who expects guys to go out and play a certain level, a certain way, following the format that he's laid out before them. And I can tell you that he had a lengthy team meeting, I'm sure in the beginning of the year, and said, this is what we do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right on down the line. And he's not going to take the excuses from the guys that some other people take. Dog runs a very tight ship, a very well-rounded ship. It's just a matter now of getting the guys to gel and move forward to where he wants them to go.
And they're not afraid to travel. They've played in Ohio already. They've played in Massachusetts. Yeah. This is a team that has a broad horizon. So
yeah, there's no leased vehicles on that team.
That's correct. Now, also in the E, we've got Expandable, led by, of course, the CEO, Jonathan. Who? Yes, Jonathan Valagas. Remember?
Never heard of him.
No. Lunar Steel, very solid team at the E level, playing a lot of USSSA this year. Ocean Armory is in the conference, Bobby Schreiner's team. And then the team next on my list, Rip, has a win this year, Harambe's Heroes. Have you seen this team play?
See this here?
I do.
My dark horse.
Okay.
Harambe's Hero. Bunch of guys like being around each other, like going out and playing, play hard every single time. Results, W's.
Chemistry's half the battle, if not 3/4 of it.
Listen, I think they played in almost every indoor tournament this year. I'm not saying it was their entire team. Out early, playing together, getting used to being around each other, right? They're friends. They go out and go. They go out and go. They go out and go, and they want to win.
Harambe's Heroes, Jeff Desane, Dave Mertz, okay? Very solid team. And then Sorrento's Bakery came back, played in the last tournament, went to the finals against Harambe's. If they play a little bit more USSSA, very tough to beat. They were second at the Nationals.
To me, I just think that Sorrento's a team that doesn't play enough to play.
Agreed.
My opinion.
Agreed. Now, moving on, Rip, to something that I know you'll have a few words to talk about is our USSSA New Jersey women's program. We've had some very, very, very good women's tournaments this year. Rip, we've got to start talking about Dirty Habit, our team from Long Island. They've got 2 wins this year. One came at your expense. The other one over a very, very strong Twisted Sisters team who took the ride down from Massachusetts.
Last week in the Sea Caucus.
That's correct. Rip, your thoughts on Dirty Habit?
They are, in my opinion, the women's team to beat. And I know that I have my own women's team that's a very stout team. But the one thing I love about Dirty Habits, what they do, is their ability to make in-game adjustments second to none to nobody. You're beating them deep, they make an adjustment. You're beating them short, they make an adjustment. When they get up offensively, they see where you're playing, they make the adjustments. To beat them, you're going to have to come out and play their game better than they play their game. And right now, nobody can play their game.
And this is a team that they're all friends. They're going to play hard for each other. Juliet Murphy, the coach, does a very nice job. She's very prepared. The shortstop, Nicole Michael, one of the best players on the circuit.
She's very good.
She's very good, great defensively, and a great leader. She kept that team in the final.
Listen, and her pitcher's a good pitcher. I mean, she gets a little, I like her. She's got a little fire in her.
That's right, Brittany.
Brittany, yes, she walks about her. She's pissed at herself. She feels like she let her team down. Listen, you got to have that fire. You want to win. I don't care if it's men's, women's, co-ed, high five, checkers, whatever you want to do.
That's right.
You got to have a little desire to win. That girl gets on that mound. She expects to keep her team ahead every inning.
We should play checkers sometime, Rip.
Yeah, I'd kick your ass.
That's right, you would. All Out Brats, moving on to the next team. All Out Brats had, this is, for those of you who are new to Basement Chat, this team is coached by Mr. Reporti, sitting here to my left. All Out Brats, the new team this year, victorious at the War at the Shore, Rip. And from what I remember, I wasn't there that day. I know there was, I got some phone calls though. I know you were very excited that day, to say the least. Maybe a little bit too much so. 5-0, all run rule victories. Tell me about All Out Brats.
Listen, I said it before about my team, and I'll be blood honest, and I've told the girls this themselves. We haven't had our full team at a tournament yet. I would love to get our team to a full team to a tournament. If they come out, they're patient at the plate, huge success. Defensively, I'm not overly concerned. I think I have one of the best defenses in any level of women's ball. Outfield, infield, and a veteran pitcher. Again, seems to be a common theme we keep talking about here, right? Whether it's men or women's.
Correct.
They have the ability to go out and shut down an inning by making one play. The ability to start an inning offensively by being just a little patient at the plate. They came out and I asked them to, hey, go this route, stay patient. They did. They came out, they scored runs, nothing stopped them. They made the adjustments this week that we didn't make in the first tournament. Teams went back to defense to play them because I had some girls who could strike the ball well. I don't know if you heard.
I have heard.
Teams moved back. They said, hey, we're going to play defense, beat us short. And the girls made the adjustment. Bang, line drive through hole, bang here. And, it was unbelievable.
There's a lot of people that are watching Basement Chat that maybe aren't in the women's program, but these are things that are applicable at any level, whether it's a men's tournament program or leagues. You got to learn how to do things the right way.
Listen, absolutely. And it's not to discredit what anybody else is doing or anybody else is playing, because there was some good teams out there. I mean, we did beat a very formidable Slammers veteran-laden team in the finals, who I think that was maybe their first tournament out all year.
Yes.
And I'm not shocked.
Slammers not only have some returning veteran talent, but they've got some brand new girls.
Yeah.
Robin Malcolm, the pitcher, does a really nice job. And I got to tell you, Jen Mangus, the shortstop, absolutely phenomenal. You don't see too many left-handed shortstops. No. She feels the position better than...
She knows the game, too. They all know the game.
Knows the game. Jen Barletta.
Jen Barletta is another one. She's going to say Robin's been on Robin's pitch, and she's been around. They're a good team. And once they get in their groove again, they're going to be a little bit of a headache to see at a tournament. You're going to be like, oh, not yet.
That's not going to be an easy out for just anybody.
No, it's really not. You got to come prepared to play, that's for sure.
We have our states coming up July 22nd in Lakewood, and then our 5-game guarantee in Mercer, which is the Super Summer Slammer.
Correct.
We'll have different divisions, but the women's 5-game guarantee should be one of the better tournaments of the year. Looks like Voodoo will be coming back from Pennsylvania. That's a team.
They're a good scrappy team, too.
Took you near to the end, Rip.
Yes.
Connecticut Storm, always tough out. We've got Gems, Toxic with a flight victory in Sea Caucus, Diamond Elite.
Purple Crush is another team, kind of.
Purple Crush, yes.
They have some good ballers, good ball players on their team. And I think it's their first year together as one team, maybe.
Yes.
Right, led by Valerie Cacases. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, Valerie with a little help from Vicky Leone. Really nice.
They have some good ballers on that team. And I'll tell you, the one thing I like about the women's program is that if you fall asleep on some of the teams that aren't your notable favorites, losers bracket, please.
Jersey Girls.
That's where you're going.
I mean, Jersey Girls, Purple Crush, these are teams that can put you in the losers bracket.
Yes, so if you're not paying attention, those teams are, Voodoo's going to travel up from PA, Maryland area, and if you're not ready to play them, you're going to get slapped in the face to the losers bracket.
Absolutely.
These girls come to play. A lot of these girls, you're seeing a lot of girls now that are really knowing the game, that people are going out and finding, whether it's in league or just word of mouth, and there's some good teams coming around.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some of the girls from co-ed coming over to play women's.
Correct.
But not all the women's players play co-ed. You've got some new players into the circuit. We had 10 teams out there last week. We're very, very proud of the women's program here.
And the Hurricanes from Long Island are coming back soon.
That's right.
And Hurricanes. They are always G-O-O-D.
That's correct. It'll be nice to see Bobby DeAngelis back. One of my favorite coaches and sponsors. Took a few months off. Wishing him speedy recovery.
No doubt about that.
So, Bob, one of the absolutely classiest guys in the USSSA region. So that sums it up for the women's program. The states will be July 22nd. That'll be at Pine Park in Lakewood. Hope to see a lot of the women's players and fans out there. Now, co-ed or mixed, Rip. Pretty much been a mixed bag this year. I can't really say with certainty that any one team has separated from the pack. We've got different teams, all could vie for that #1 spot. Rip, tell me about your thoughts on the mixed program.
I think you have to start at top, and I'm going to get some flack from this from some of my girls who play for me, but you'd have to go with Can't Even, right? Reigning defending world champions, they would have to be one at the top.
Correct. I mean,
Assassins 1A. Right?
It's very close between those two teams. Assassins have 2 victories this year.
Right.
Okay. They have a victory at the Co-Ed NIT, which is a paid world berth for them.
Absolutely.
They also victorious at the Evo tournament, but Can't Even traveled down to Texas and was victorious at the Bud Fest, which is a spectacular co-ed tournament to win.
Correct.
I believe there was 7 or 8 B
coming through the losers bracket.
All the way through the losers bracket. It's a very well-coached team. PJ Pereira has 3 rings to his credit with the Billy Bats and Can't Even program. So you've got Assassins, Can't Even, those 2 teams at the top. But, Rip, you've also got a team like GPS Landscaping who's got a tournament winner too this year.
Listen, that's not a bad team either. I mean, it's at a different level. They're playing D this year. You know, it depends how much they show up to play. You know, you come prepared, you go out and win. You come lackadaisical, you don't win. All depends on how you show up to the field. The other 2 teams we talked about walk up to a tournament expecting to win.
Exactly, and then you have Beauties and Beasts from Long Island. Beauties coming over victorious at our mixed open states, which has already been taking place. That team came in, beat Can't Even, beat Assassins, made it look easy almost. So any given day, Rip.
Absolutely, that's half the battle, right? Everybody has a 50-50 shot.
Right, and we have a couple of other teams who have tournament wins. Inferno from Pennsylvania, the crafty veteran Mike Orioles has brought the team over. They've
DRGK,
got DRGK. That's a team that should be in that same category, that same mention there.
They're a little funny because they seem to, the better the team they're playing, the more the level they step their game up to play them.
Yes.
Which is an interesting factor. Maybe they're playing not at the right level. Maybe they are playing at the right level. Seem to play when they play the Assassins or a better team. It's, hey, we're good. Wow, we got to play better, and they go ahead and do so. Just food for thought.
Well, our mixed D states are going to be next week as well as the mixed D states. So if you look at the team list, it's only mixed D, so we don't have the Can't Evens and Assassins.
Correct.
They've already had their state tournament. So we've got Beauties, we've got GPS, we've got Triborough Scaffolding, who's been an upstart team.
Oh, yeah.
That's a team, a group of close friends, first-year team, okay? Ease Irish Pub, the Broad Street Bullies co-ed team. There's some excellent players in that team. So I don't know who the favorite in the mixed D states is. Could be anybody.
It's a coin toss, Skip. I mean, it really is, because you have a lot of teams with a lot of talent and a lot of unknown because they haven't had an opportunity to play a lot of co-ed yet.
Exactly.
Again, Mother Nature is undefeated this season.
Mother Nature's been good, and then there's been some non-roster events.
Correct.
And some of these teams are out trying to pick up a player.
We're going to find out next weekend for sure who's the cream of the crop, I guess you'd say.
That's right. Now, if you look at the mixed E's, okay, the 2 teams that have some victories this year, I know Jenkinson's has a victory. Take Two from Tom's River, those are 2 local rivals there. They each have a victory. Anonymous from Long Island, and we have some teams like the Misfits and the Goonies that are starting to kind of find their stride. So again, next Saturday we have, I think, 9 teams entered right now.
Nice.
That number could get bigger, okay? Rip, your thoughts on mixed D? Anybody that jumps off the page?
I think Jenkinson's is playing well. I mean, right, they had a great finish last year at the Worlds.
Top 10.
And 2017, a lot more confidence in themselves going out and playing well.
Yep. Okay, so that will kind of run us through our program. Also, before we close, this is not to go off script, Rip, but we also had our military states a few weeks ago.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'd like to thank Mike Bridgman and the guys from MDL for hosting that tournament.
I'd like to thank them all for their service.
I agree. I have to be honest with you. I was fortunate enough to be on base. This is the 2nd year in a row I've been able to actually attend the tournament and site direct. It was a real honor, okay, especially coming from somebody whose grandfather served in the World War. Thank you very much, the veterans, for military teams, for what you guys are doing to keep us free and safe here.
Absolutely. Can't thank you guys enough, as a matter of fact.
Tournament was won by Not Forgotten out of Maryland. MDL putting on a really nice military state tournament for us. So, Rip, I'm going to now take us to the mailbag here, okay? We asked for some questions. Our first question, it looks like all these questions are for you. Our first question is from Tim Westerside from Autologic. Rip, with many great sponsors pulling out of funding softball in New Jersey over the past 2 years, should players be concerned that softball may be unstable in terms of team costs and finding sponsorship?
I don't think that players should be concerned about the game being unstable. The game is going to be what the game is. What players should be concerned is, are they thanking their sponsors? Are they truly appreciating what the sponsors who are selflessly giving their money for them to play are doing for them as a general move, right? So you've had Tommy from TNT leave, now Sammy Roccabaldo's out, right? Joe Benante took a year away from softball. Take Joe out of the equation there, because I know a lot, he just wanted to take a breather, had nothing to do with any of his players. He loves all his players and everything like that. Tommy Taverdi took a step away because of partly maybe guys couldn't wait a minute for him to fully decide what his actual commitment was going to be, and a little selfishly made decisions to go ahead and take off before he had an opportunity. So he's out, and I guess you could say Sammy's kind of in the same boat as far as that selfishness is concerned, right? So maybe it's time for guys who feel that they are owed a debt of gratitude to reach in their own right pocket, chip in and play for yourself.
I don't disagree. I mean, when I first started playing softball, granted I am an e-ball player for life, I couldn't figure out that anybody would want to sponsor softball. And
right.
I've been so appreciative to get to know some of the great guys, like a Tommy Taverdi, like a Joe Benante, like a Sammy Rock, who have been more than generous, and there are others out there. You know, even Tommy Mayorana and some of the other great sponsors that are here in the New Jersey area.
Listen, so, I say this all the time, and this is an unknown rule almost, or an unwritten rule rather, pardon me. If you don't thank your sponsor before and after every tournament, there's something wrong with you. If you're a guy who's fortunate enough to play in a team where he's pulling out the money, whether it's to cover the entry fee, the uniforms, the hotels, if you're walking to the ballpark to play ball and it's not costing you money to be there other than to feed yourself, you should be thanking the guy who's heading the ship.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
One way or another. Some debt of gratitude is owed to that man. Or woman.
Or woman.
Or company. Whatever it may be.
Whatever it may be. Now, our second question comes from Dream Morn. Is the Yellow Freak 30 going to be banned because infielders are having trouble seeing the ball?
Personally, I don't think so. I think if it was going to be an issue where that bat was going to be banned, I think it would have been addressed already by USSSA. The bat obviously had to go and be approved for color. I mean, the color choice that is on the bat.
Sure.
And as far as everything else, I mean, I understand the ball is yellow, the bat is yellow. Listen, I think not so much the infielders I'm concerned with as much as the pitchers having trouble picking the ball off the bat.
Sure.
But I don't foresee them making that change right now. Listen, anything's possible, you know what I mean? But I don't see it happening.
I had a conversation with Todd from Core Softball Sales, which is where I get my bats from. He said the same thing. He said it's probably unlikely. It would just cause problems. U-Trips approved the bat. Don't see them making any changes here right. In the near future.
I also at the same
time might have to replace the bats and things like that.
And in the future, I don't see you'll see another bat painted that same color. No, I don't think so.
Agreed. Good question. Also from Dream Morn Sports, Travis. Rip, with more and more bats created, quote, hot out the wrapper, has USSSA considered loosening up on the home run rules?
I don't think there's a need to loosen up on the home run rules, to be honest with you, Travis. Bats hot out of the wrapper, that's just an anomaly people use, really, in all honesty, to sell bats. This is the hottest thing I've ever swung. This is the hottest thing I've ever swung. Here's the news flash. All bats can't go past 220 when they're testing or they fail. Now, to get bats to that 220 level, do some require more extensive breaking in period than others? Yes. Are some coming out of the wrapper at 245, 250, maybe only needs 30 swings and it's bang right around that 220, 225, 230 mark? Yes, absolutely. Does that affect the way you need to play the game at the level you're playing? Positively not. If your team cannot go out and handle the rules that are set before them, so you say, for example, you're playing D, you get 2 homers at inning ending, that's hurting your team, 2 things need to be looked at. Are people putting in the proper work to make sure they're not hitting the homers? Or B, are you even playing the right level?
Good questions. And, with a lot of the teams being moved up by the committee, some of that problem is taking care of itself.
I think moving forward, you're going to see a lot more parity.
Okay. Next question from the Broad Street Bullies, Mr. Bill. Rip, with so much parity in the D level this year, do you think that a bunch of area teams can or will make a run at D Worlds?
I said this last year about all the teams from New Jersey and the surrounding areas. It seems every year they go to Worlds, no matter what level it is, there's always those teams that make a deep run. I don't expect this year to be any different. Really, I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 3 or 4 teams in the top 10 at the D level. I'm not kidding around and being honest with the Elleries, the RSBs, the Autologics, or Bill's team making a good run here. My old boys from Broad Street, you know what I mean? But
just not sure which teams are going to go.
I'm not sure which teams. And listen, you can wind up with a team that hasn't played well all year, hot streak, bang. Next thing you know, top 10 finish, top 5, walking away with a world title.
Okay, now from Mr. Smitty, holla. Rip, why do so many teams complain about start times?
I don't know. I think maybe some guys feel they need their beauty sleep from the night before. I couldn't fathom the idea of the start times. My opinion is if you're not traveling from a state away, you should be ready to play at 8 a.m. That's my opinion.
That's the way it used to be when I started playing.
So if you're in New Jersey, in a New Jersey tournament, be ready to play at 8 a.m. If you're driving to New York, if you're driving from New York, be ready to play at 9 a.m. I mean, it's a simple equation. I can't fathom why guys complain, but then again, guys complain about flying out, right? So.
Rip, I have to ask you this next question here.
Fire it up, buddy.
From
Fire it up.
Mr. Jonathan Villages. When is the CEO showing up for Basement Chat?
The CEO of what?
Mr. Villages.
Himself?
Yes.
Never.
Okay, that answers that. Next. Next question comes from, this was asked on Facebook by Mr. Kenny Nieves. Rip, will TNT be back next year? And if so, will I be the pitcher, meaning Kenny Nieves, on the team?
I've heard that question probably about 52 times in the last 3 weeks.
About Nieves pitching?
No, definitely not.
Okay, I figured Big Man would be pitching.
As far, yeah, well, that's an excellent point too. That's who will be pitching. Is TNT coming back next year? Right now, I would say no clue. Honestly, I mean, I speak to Tommy often. We haven't even really discussed about next year whatsoever. Not even a mindset or mind thought right now of who we'd want on the team. If we do decide to put a team together, what guys we'd be interested in bringing back, what guys we wouldn't be interested in bringing back. So to answer your question, there's really nothing on the table right now, at least that Tommy and I have had conversation with, and I'd like to believe that if something was going down, that he would give me a shout. If not, then so be that as well, I guess you'd say.
Well, he may be a little bit busy at the Beach Club right now, Rip. It's
that's
summer season at Jersey Shore.
He's got a multitude of things going on.
We've got to go over that in the next Basement Chat, too, the Remax business that he's got going. So our next question, and this is an anonymous question, it's an actual question. Rip, what is more annoying? The WWE pushing Roman Reigns down our throats, or G Money's, quote, rate my swing Facebook videos?
I am no fan of the push that Roman Reigns is getting in the WWE. I'm going to side with my boy Mooch, who hates to see these videos on Facebook as well. That shit's annoying. Rate my swing. Yeah, you swung at a pitch in a league game and hit a fucking homer. Pardon my language. I don't care.
I haven't seen the video.
I don't want to see it.
I haven't seen the video.
You want to send me a video? Show me a video hitting a backside double to win a ball game. Show me you legging out too.
Okay. Now,
everybody hits homers.
Not me.
Huh?
Not me.
Well, you're soft.
That's true.
Next.
SAWFT, soft. Now, our last question comes from Danny Giacopello, who I thought was going to be banned from sending in questions, but somehow he snuck this one in. I can't read the entire question. Some of you may have seen this on Facebook. Rip, I'm 30 now, so after my league ball adventures or tournaments, I partake in 30 minutes of ice bathing on the regular. It really kills my soreness and arthritis. My question is, while doing this, well, I don't think I can finish the question, but it is talking about something decreasing by about 80%.
Listen.
Any thoughts on Danny Giacopello's question? Cold
water has adverse effects. Ice baths will have a larger adverse effect on the nether regions, if I may say so. As far as the width of the expansion or lack of expansion, I think we're good, Jock.
Okay. Well, Rip, that takes us to the end of our agenda today. It's been absolutely our pleasure to be back here in the Basement Chat studios. Rip, take us home.
Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. You'll probably notice we're a little bit all over the place, probably a little bit of ring rust. Again, I'll blame the selfish guy to my right over here for that reason. We will be back a little more frequently than we were here in the past with some more information and some more highlights from upcoming tournaments. We ask you to please tune in, share it with your friends if you like it. If you don't like it, share it anyway. Stop being selfish.
There you go.
We appreciate it. We'll see you all soon next time.
It's been fun.
Take us out of this joint.